first I thought of it maybe as just like a grading system, a different way that the grade book is calculated. It doesn't really matter that much. But now I really think of it as almost like a philosophical change in the way that we communicate with parents, that we communicate with other professionals, other teachers, other staff members, and with students about their progress in class.
Because I knew that we needed a change in the way that we were doing things, because there was not a lot of ways to verify that what we were doing and what we were teaching was the same amongst all the teachers in the same subject area.
After implementing it, I realized that the kids are getting a much more rigorous experience, and it forces me to think about what I'm truly asking kids to learn and be able to do.
It gives me better information about what the kids know how to do, and I can specify what is it that they don't quite know how to do yet.
Instead of saying you're getting a B in global studies, I can say, okay, you're showing a level 3 mastery in historical art analysis. So I'm able to really break down the topics much easier.
But to be honest, I was really afraid of it because I thought, oh, that's going to mean I'm going to have to spend way more time grading, everything's going to be way more complicated, and it's going to be a problem. And in fact, it's been the exact opposite.
When I'm getting feedback on assessments with students, it's not that I'm saying, oh, I have to make sure I'm including SRG. It just becomes natural over time as you continue to use it.
As I've gone through it last year and into this year, I realized that it really is best practice for kids.
My thinking and learning about SRG is definitely changed in that I'm much more reflective and critical on what am I having students do, and is it a rigorous task?
It's made me really focus and hone in more on specific skills and specific content, and I've created stronger assessments that can really show me students' growth and areas of need.
There's no arguing about what a kid needs to know. It's already planned out there for us.
Now I can look at that, I can assess students with those skills, and I can differentiate learning based on where students fall.
Been really mindful of different strategies to help my students be successful.
It's here, I'm going to concentrate on this skill. What do I need to scaffold to make sure that the students are proficient, and how do I push them to go beyond? Before that, it was really kind of, here are 9 or 10 things you're supposed to teach over this 4 weeks' time. And I really felt that it was like a disservice to a lot of the students.
Your grade was determined on how many worksheets and assignments you turned in. You got 10 points that accumulated. If you turned in all your 10 worksheets, well then you're an A student. Well, that's not necessarily the case because it doesn't really gauge how much the student knows and can do based on the standard.
But SRG was kind of said, here's the skills you need to focus on, here's what you need to do, prepare them, not only for the next grade, but for their life after high school.
We can really assess what they know rather than what they are responsible at doing.
And so, I was in class, I should have an A. I did this work, maybe it wasn't my best, but I did it, I should have an A. I'm nice to you, I should have an A. That's not how SRG works.
And they struggle with it at first is they kind of are trained in this idea that they can turn in a bunch of stuff and then somehow that's going to get them to pass a class.
And I was a little leery about how the kids were going to go, but they take ownership. They know what they have to work on.
They're like, yeah, right now I'm not very good at author's point of view. I'm not very good at writing in social studies. I'm not very good at using evidence.
It's more about the discussion turns into more how can we get there and what do we need to do to improve our knowledge rather than what completion we do.
Students use the language. They're able to say, I'm at a 3, is it possible? How can I get to a 4? What do I have to do to show complete mastery? And we use the language a lot in the classroom, so if my kids are able to verbalize that to me, I can see it's getting through to them and they want to get to a 2, they want to get to a 3, they even want to try 4, so they can really push themselves.
They are coming to me knowing what their grade is and telling me what they want to retake and why.
To know that they'll be able to catch up if they're not quite getting something as fast as someone else, and they really appreciate that.
And I think that overall has made a huge difference when the kids feel like they get to control.
When you take into the diverse student body that Des Moines Public Schools has, it's really important that we give every kid the chance to show that they know it.
But as you read about it and then as you implement it, you realize why haven't we done this before? It just makes so much more sense.
Advice that I have for teachers who would be starting SRG is give it some time. It's not something that catches overnight. You have to really work and you have to train students to have a more of a growth mindset.
Be patient.
It is a major shift. If you're still trying to maybe translate things into a 100-point scale in your mind or something like that for students, it doesn't really work as well. You kind of need to jump in with both feet.
To absolutely not try to get it perfect the first time, because you're not going to, and it won't happen. Because as the grading scale is implemented in our district, we learn new techniques and we collaborate at the district level with our PLCs.
Work together. I think that that's what I've really liked about this SRG process, is that it's absolutely forced us to work together and to make sure that we're doing it the same or like each other, and then learning from each other.
It's a process for everyone involved. Just keep the lines of communication open and make sure that you're sharing with your stakeholders.
To be solutions oriented. So if you run into a problem, really look for a solution to help you solve that problem, or ask around for a solution.
Collaborate with as many of your colleagues as you can. It's very difficult to do on your own.
To be patient and to give yourself a chance to really kind of explore your instruction and to really kind of stretch yourself and to reflect on what are the best practices, so that when you go into your classroom you can be the most effective teacher that you can be.
You need to trust that what we are doing is what is best for students overall, and that's why we got into this in the first place.